Hello, community. Welcome to the stream. We're just getting things prepared in the back end for everyone out there, but we thought we'd let you hear our dulcet tones, and by ours I mean Patch. How are you, Patch?
Oh, Wet Dog, I am so excited. So excited. How are you, my dear friend?
I'm very excited. Baron Von Crow from Adelaide. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm bloody excited, mate. I'm bloody excited. And
Excited.
the great Foz man, the stats man, the numbers man. How are you?
Lek, I am so excited to be a part of this. This is just, I know everyone's upset that footy's been postponed, but this has just filled the space beautifully.
Just for the record, I just want the community to know who are listening and watching live from across the country. Well over 100 entries into our very first competition. We were expecting about 4. That's not actually you in your picture, is it, Foz?
No, that's not me, unfortunately. I wish I had a nose that big, but it's not me, unfortunately.
Who's that poor soul you've just thrown onto a live stream, onto the internet?
How do you not recognise the number one ruckman at Carlton currently, Patch? Mark Pitnet is going to take the world by storm come November when the season finally gets underway. And here's a gun.
Now, community, if you do have the option, I'd hate to drive you away from our wonderful stream, but if you do have the option, there are some other great streams happening right now all around the country. Lots of people playing games, but our friends over at the Draft Doctors, we're going to chuck that link down in the chat for you. They're currently streaming what would have been tonight's round 2 game. You could open them on another tab. Don't stop watching us, but open them on another tab for sure.
Make sure you mute them though, because we're going to have the best commentary.
Yes, please mute them. You can go back and watch their thing later.
Especially if you want to watch their game without commentary.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a crack. Yeah, watch it again. So, community, just so you know, we'll get underway we'll start getting things underway at 7:40. That's when lockout occurs for the Jock Reynolds Evolution League Round 1 doubleheader, Season 1, Round 1. Melbourne v Adelaide, Fremantle v Hawthorn.
So, Foz, considering you've masterminded a fair chunk of this, like you've also done a massive amount of work, but Foz, talk us through, for anyone that's missed it, anyone that's sort of thrown a team together, like myself and Baron, without any real idea as to what the numbers are, how it sort of all comes together. Talk us through sort of one, where it came from, and then two, how it works, how the nuts and bolts of it work.
Yeah, I can't remember who originally came up with the idea. I think it was Clarkey of developing a fantasy style game from AFL Evolution. So if I've got that wrong, I apologise and give due credit where it's to the person who earned it. But I'm pretty sure it was Clarkey, and I sort of picked it up and ran with it and started developing the numbers. I was with uni being not cancelled but moved online. I've got plenty of time at home in isolation to develop stuff, and so I sort of just threw together some stats scoring based on a trial simulation game that we ran, that being me, Clarkey, and a Damo. We ran the game and sort of came up with this scoring system which seems to reflect and reward the good players in each of the positions. So obviously you can find that scoring on the Jock Reynolds website and on the link that Leck has posted that's connected to your team selection. It's all in there, so you can pick it based on that. But it essentially rewards the good ruckmen, the good midfielders, and the good forwards, as well as obviously like good intercepting key backs. For blokes who are starting on the bench, they do have a bit less time to get involved in the game because the games are shortened. So fatigue is a part of the game, but it doesn't really set in the shorter games. So not as many substitutions. So you want to try and avoid the bench players, but blokes on the starting ground have the best opportunity to score points. In a nutshell, Patchy.
Beautiful. And the AFL Evolution AI, how does it stack up?
No, I mean it's as good as the footy up in Orange, I believe. I think that's where they base the AI off. So, I mean, you're probably the best person to speak to about that.
In that case, we are in for missed kicks every sort of two or three possessions.
You'll notice the ball will go a few minutes without touching the ground. They sometimes just hit every kick or just kick it straight down the defender's throat. So it's really one of the two.
AFL Central West, not in the South.
Also, there are going to be some controversial goal decisions because we've got on record the ball clearly going through the post, but it seems to only measure hitting the post from the padding down. So, you're going to get hurt with some forwards. That's going to happen.
What would it really be an Aussie rules game if it didn't have controversial umpiring decisions involving goal referrals? No.
You know what I might do? I'm going to pull on to stream the teams for the first game. I was going to try and do it in-game. Feels too difficult to me. Just going to drag a picture onto the top of the stream. And you guys, we could start going through the teams because lockout occurs in 1 bloody minute. Now, apologies if this looks like shit. I didn't prepare it earlier. Boom. All right, we'll move it over.
That does look very average.
Can you guys see that beautiful graphic we've got there? Loud and clear. And who wants to go through the teams?
Well, Baz, considering we've got an Adelaide side playing, it seems only natural that you should run through the Adelaide teams. This is Adelaide from 2018, I believe. So there are a few names here that might not really still be at Adelaide, still be playing, still be good. But yeah, Baz, run us through it line by line.
Well, in defence, we have the kick brigade of Kelly, Talia, and Hardigan, and Luke Brown. If you pick them, they're most likely going to kick it straight to the opposition in the back half. Brady Smith, Rory Laird, you should be safe with them. The ball magnets, Brad Crouch and Rory Sloane in the middle, with the other Matt Crouch. He does exist, Patch. Don't get into an argument with me about this. Sam Jacobs as the ruck. Wings, David McKay and Rory Atkins. Up forward, pretty strong with Taylor Walker, Josh Jenkins, the high flyer Mitch McGovern, and the little champion Eddie Betts down in the left forward pocket.
I like how you said strong up forward and then started immediately with Taylor Walker.
That's right.
As much as I do kind of like Taylor Walker as a footballer, just conventional popular culture theories that Taylor Walker's not excellent.
Fellas, if you could keep talking about that Adelaide lineup while I just change the screen on your end because I need to lock out these teams.
Now, for what we've seen in the past, that's going to be an epic battle in the ruck with Max Gawn and Sam Jacobs. And then the former Crow Bernie Vince on Brad Crouch, Nathan Jones on Rory Sloane.
Gee whiz, there is like 40 people in this document right now. Should we leave it open for another couple of minutes?
Yeah, we'll give them 2 minutes. This is your 2-minute warning, community. If you're not out of there by 7:43, then tough luck.
All right, let's go through the Melbourne lineup. When that's done, we're locking this thing dead. I didn't expect there to be over 40 people in there, so we will be generous. Apologies to everyone who was on time.
Melbourne, we'll start from down back, even though it's at the bottom of the screen. Neville Jetta, Tom McDonald in defence. Defensive McDonald alert. And Sam Frost, then Jaden Hunt, Michael Hibbard, both on the halfback flanks, and Jake Lever. Now Crow is at centre half. No,
Former Crow.
No, former Crow.
Former Crow.
I'm getting my timelines mixed up.
You are.
As you mentioned in the middle, Max Gawn tapping it down to Vince Jones and Jack Viney, with Dom Tyson. Remember him on the wing with Jordan Lewis. And then up forward, Clayton Oliver, half forward flank. How will that affect his scoring? We'll find out. Very interested to see if people have picked him and what they think he'll score. Cam Peterson, centre half forward. And then we have, I can't really read that name, Mitch Hannon, Christian Petrarca in the forward pocket, Jesse Hogan still at Melbourne full forward, Jeffy Garlett in the forward pocket.
Well, there are your lineups, community. Shout out to everyone in the chat already. We've got Zampa, who's a big fan of AFL Evolution. Not a huge fan of us, but we'll get you there, Zampa, one day. He's still trying to pick his team. We're about to lock it out, so you got about 6 seconds. The Game SC, shout out. Kana Saints, who is very engorged, very excited about this. We're about to get things underway. Sleeveless Pies, Zampa, Boone PY, everyone's here. We're going to lock this out. We're sorry, anyone who couldn't fit in their team. Zampa, we're sorry we couldn't get you in there. Maybe you'll still be able to edit while I lock it out, but we don't know. Consider this officially locked out, community. We are going into the first round of AFL Evolution, Jock Reynolds Evolution League 2020. I'm going to bring the screen into play, guys, and we're going to bloody start watching some footy. A pleasure to be with you, community, here on a Friday night. I guess it's a Friday night. Blockbuster between Melbourne and Adelaide.
It's Friday night footy. We're up and away here. We've got a couple of minutes till the first bounce. We'll just quickly whip through. Foz, have you got a pod tonight? Not that we really know percentage ownerships, not that we know anything, but like, have you got someone you think will jump out that you've picked this evening?
Are we talking from either team, or are we purely talking?
From either team tonight, from either Melbourne or Adelaide.
I really like Brady Crouch in the middle. The cheaper, I believe, of the two Crouch brothers. Obviously a ball magnet. We'll see how that translates into the game. But I think just if you can accumulate, 15 to 20 disposals, he'll have a very nice score.
Fair enough, Baz. Have you got anyone? Not that either of us paid a huge amount of attention to how anything worked beforehand, but have you got someone you're hoping will sneakily do well?
I have put a bit of faith in Mitch McGovern. He hasn't been doing it in real life, but let's see if he can do it in AFL Evolution.
Lovely. And have you got a tip for tonight? As Amorna in the chat mentioned, Crows by 5 goals is his tip. I'm going with the D's by 12.
No, I agree with that. Crows by 5 goals. That sounds good.
And I'll be tipping the Crows by about 6 goals because I've seen how this game's played and they love Rory Sloane. We got a few people in the chat. Zampa, there will be another round. Intention is to play one on, I think, Sunday. And if not Sunday, it'll be during the week or next week. Who else have we got in chat? Placey, great to see you, mate. We love to see you. Shods, great to be here. Zampa, yes, we're going to have another round, you bloody beautiful human. Let's get into it, folks. Round 1 of the Jock Reynolds Evolution League is live, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, I've noticed first up, Lex going to be a bit disappointed. I didn't see any long sleeves on Bryce Gibbs or Paul Seedsman.
No sleeves. The weather, it's a warm night at the MCG to open the AFL. We're going to go to the toss. Now, do you have any
important toss?
Watch where the coin comes from. Just keep an eye on where the coin comes from.
Is that Matty Nichols? Look at him.
It is Matty Nichols. Well spotted, fellas.
They've done that very well. He looks a lot better than Razor Rain Evo 2.
And bang! Nathan Jones wins the toss. That's the first win for the night for Melbourne, but I just worry early. That's going to be the only win they get. In the middle, gone.
Run away.
Garner, Jacobs, gone with the first. Oh, and immediately we've got a throwing the ball to Cat Beatson, who I don't know had the ball. Crow's already moving it well to Riley Knight. Looking inside 50 for a short pass, but there's your man, Jake Lever.
Intercept King.
Jordan Lewis.
On the wing, kicks it inboard, and he hits up Jake Lever again, gets it back, the old 1-2. In forward, is that Gorn? No, yes. Gorn on the board with possessions, kicks it forward to Peterson. Again,
now,
looking busy.
Max Gawn, as Jeffy Garlett, just takes a mark. He's going to line up. Max Gawn, very popular captain selection for tonight, as Jeffy Garlett bloody slots that one. And that's the first goal for the Jock Reynolds Evolution League. 1 kick, 1 goal to Jeffy Garlett. Does anyone in the chat start Jeffy Garlett?
Okay, Foz, what are your thoughts on that passage of play there?
Yeah, it's very interesting watching Jackie Lever take that nice intercept mark and then moving up the ground a little bit. I did say beforehand that the intercept markers will play a big role in the Evo game just because they always seem to mark the ball. So a nice centre-half back role there for a little bit more of an expensive centre-half back.
Back in the middle we go. Gone with another hit out. Finds Petrarca, who's just gone sideways there. Terrible decision to Rory Laird. If you've got him, he's not as good at this game as he is in Supercoach. Matt Crouch finds Sam Jacobs. The ruckmen are everywhere early in this one. And just as I say that, I've mozzed Sam Jacobs.
That is a very ruckman kick, to be honest with you. And they start it again. Gorn and Jacobs go at it. Ball comes in. Jacobs hit out, gets it off. Inboard to Jones, out to Dom Tyson on the wing. Kicks it forward, back to Jones. Takes it slow. Intercept. Contested mark. Good stuff. Down to Rory Atkins.
And Atkins just Somehow that stayed in play, and it's been called deliberate.
That was out of bounds. That was out of bounds.
And Eddie Betts, just a contested mark with 3 people in the vicinity. He's going to go back. You'd think he puts this one through. Oh, he's going for the pass.
Top of the square to Tex Walker. Spoiled from Frost. Not sure about that one.
Oh!
They're on.
That's brilliant. If you could take us through this, Baron, I think Tom McDonald elects to just punch that one back into play.
Yeah, he should have taken the mark. He's punched it back into play, and I think that was Jenkins has done a little scrubber off the ground, and it's gone straight to Tom Lynch sitting by himself in the goal square, and he's just done a little soccer kick for the goal.
Now that's excitement we get in the Jock Reynolds Evolution League. You never know where the goals are going to come from, but you know they're coming.
He did made a big effort to try and hit the post on that one, but didn't do it.
Mitch Hannon, the first time we've called his name, goes inside 50, finds Luke Brown, not the player he wanted to kick to. But there he is, Clayton Oliver.
Turnover. Baz, you called it earlier about the no-kick brigade. Clayton Oliver has a ping from 50. Has he got it? He's got... Oh, he's missed it. He has missed it.
Now,
just stick the handballs, really.
Controversially, they're playing Clayton Oliver. What's the coach thinking? Playing Clayton Oliver in the half-forward... Where is he? Is he flank? Where did he get lined up in the end?
Yeah, he's on the flank.
We just had a play on from the square, and earlier, I haven't seen one of these before. Foz and Leck were both saying that the fullbacks don't play on, and they've lied to us. They've lied to me completely.
Well, it's good to see.
Breakaway through the midfield, up forward. Betts is going to take a contested mark. No, Walker spills in front, and then back out to, not sure who that is. McDonald kicks it wide to
Dom Tyson, the great North Melbourne superstar, to Jack Viney, who's finally we've been able to call his name. Many coaches have forked out a big price for Jack Viney, and he hasn't shown anything. And then Nathan Jones, don't know what he was thinking there. Well, that's the interpretation this year, fellas. If you're going to handball it out, it's going to be deliberate.
I think they've gone more with the Samful last touch rule. Out of bounds, it's a free kick.
Josh Jenkins called for throwing the ball there. Dom Tyson. Now, you'll find this in the Jock Reynolds Evolution League. Sometimes it just gets played on one single wing the whole game. If you've got those players, lucky you. If you don't, well, you're praying that it starts to switch into the midfield.
Randy Vince with an intercept possession on the half-back flank. Kicks up to Tyson again. Been in everything this quarter. Jack Viney again getting his hands on the ball before Laird takes an intercept mark.
Now, community, in the chat, if you could let us know if the audio levels are right, if we need to turn the crowd noise down. I think it's defaulted back to the maximum setting. Let us know if it's too loud, and at quarter time, I'll try and turn it down. Jake Lever in the chat. Jake Lever has been killing it. Lynch, Walker's been called soft, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, that is fair.
What? That's not fair. That's an outrageous comment.
Audio is good.
While you're enraged, how are you feeling about seeing Eddie Betts back in a Crows jumper?
I don't care what Guernsey Eddie Betts wears. I just love watching him play football.
So
It's good when it's in a Crows uniform. I'll watch him in a Carlton one.
At quarter time, Melbourne lead the Crows 1 goal 1-7 to 1 goal straight 6. It's been pretty tight early. The inside 50s have been dominated by Adelaide. They haven't been able to make the most of it. Let's see who's best on so far. And Jack Viney was called out before the game, fellas. 6 touches to quarter time. Foz, you know how huge that is. That's massive in this game. Good chat, Foz. Dom Tyson with 5 to his name, and Lever with 3, the other leader. Jeff Garlett, the only goal kicker for Melbourne. And then on the other side, Rory Laird, Brad Crouch, and Matt Crouch. Now, can you take us through that?
There must be a glitch in this game, really. I mean, it's obviously spliced Crouch into just 2 players, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, there's obviously a glitch here, and it'll need to be rectified before we crack it out again for another Adelaide game. Based on this, very hard to give live scores unless we go through all the stats. We don't have a fan footy style system set up. We don't know live stats for every players. We can't give live scores throughout. But yeah, at each quarter time break and half time break, we will sort of look at.
It's alright, everyone. I've ruined the stream. Just bear with me. No, you can keep talking, but I've ruined the stream. There we go. It's back. It's back, baby.
So we'll do what we can. Yeah, like sort of what sort of scores would you be expecting sort of out of this so far? Are there anyone? Obviously, Dom Tyson, absolute value, looking like a very good option. Oh, we're back underway. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry. I clicked A, so sorry. There's not a lot of room for pressing buttons in this one.
Mitch Hannon gets an early possession, early mark. Jeffy Garlick
Oh,
again, lining
again.
up
Look at him.
for goal number 2.
The game SC injuries are on, and I'll just as a bit of an Jeff Garlett.
Directly in front, he's missed.
Now you're gonna that's rough, but you're gonna get forwards each game that do pop up and dominate. Now, a point's not what we want, but it's still something. Luke Brown almost smothered over the mark. Turns it over to Cam Pedersen.
Turned it over anyway.
It goes long. Who's he looking for?
Comes through.
No one went up for it. Talia's just sat at the back and gone, I'll snaffle that one.
Off the hands, Gorn running through the pack. Spills
Great
out,
hip and
hands
shoulder
pushed
from
over.
Sloan.
Mitch Hannon with the intercept. Oh no, it's been a high tackle against Hannon. And now Hardigan has it on the defensive 50 out wide. Through the hands of Gorn. Jones handball back in. Gorn tackled again.
That looks
that's
like
a
Petrarca.
long sweeping handball.
You've got to... Now, this is the issue with Petrarca in this game. You've got to go for those goals, Patch.
Oh, you've got to. You've got to do it in real football. You've got to do it in this football. You've got to do it. Dom Tyson again cropping up. Hits it in board to Jones, but Sloan intercepts in the middle to Sam Jacobs. Big Sammy Jacobs nearly kicks it to Max Gorn, but instead kicks it to Jack Button.
Now, Foz, Sam Jacobs has just taken another mark there. You were saying beforehand that you think picking a good ruckman is vital to the Jock Reynolds Evolution League. Just take us through ruckman in this game.
Yeah, so the hitouts, I think they're worth 4 points each. So a ruckman who can have a lot of hitouts is going to score really well, regardless of whether it goes to advantage or not. But also, obviously, the marks and the kicks that come from the marks are vital as well. They're just going to pile up the points. As we see, probably the first interchange of the game.
It is. Yeah, that was somebody was just asking about interchanges. They are on.
They just don't happen often.
Very shortened quarters.
Also had Sam Jacobs come off with Josh Jenkins moving into the ruckman.
Now, if you picked up on that DPP, which I didn't, you did, Foz. That's a great little selection. Look at that. Just ball. Over.
No chance of calling it.
Great.
But Dom Tyson again on the wing.
Now, who would have seen this? Dom Tyson has to be best on ground right now.
He has just turned it over though. Laird kicks it inboard. Petrarca one-handed pick up, handballs it backwards.
And Harms pinged for the high tackle. Josh Jenkins he's playing in the middle of the ground at the moment. Finds Matt Crouch, the better of the two Crouch brothers. Rory Atkins up in the forward line. Is he going to go? Is he going to try and centre this one, or is he going for goal? Oh, he's had a crack and
He's had a good ping.
just missed.
What a low-scoring game.
Baron, what do you need to see from Adelaide here?
I'd like to see slightly less turnovers in the back half. They're having trouble working it out of there. When they're getting it forward, they're having chances, but spending too much time in Melbourne's forward 50 at the moment. Max
Gorn with another hit out.
Jones going in. No, it's a Crouch brother, I suspect. Misses it. I can't.
We're going through the 5 minutes where the ball just stays on the ground and gets tapped forward. And somehow, out of nowhere, Matt Crouch has kicked it behind.
Mr. Soda.
No, there's no communication there from his teammates either. He had acres of space. No one let him know.
Benno wants
play on out of defensive 50. Another turnover as well.
Baron, this one's for you. Benno wants to know, if I choose one Crouch, do I get both scores?
Well, they like to kick it to each other, so I think they should combine, yeah. Cause
it's worth considering.
As soon as they hear Brad or Matt, they'll just kick it in that direction. It doesn't matter who it is. That's a tip for the opponents there.
Jesse Hogan picking up his first touch of the game too. If anyone picked him, you'd be wanting to see a lot more of him. And Foz, key forwards can often just go missing in this game.
Oh, that's deliberate.
Deliberate.
That's just a raw. They can go missing patch, especially if they are a deep forward, so you want to be careful of selecting those.
And that's half time of the first game. Look, no one's particularly happy with that. 1 goal, 2 apiece. It's 8 points. It's tied at half time. No one can break away there. Inside 50s have evened right up. Contested and uncontested possessions reasonably even, although Melbourne have the better of it on the outside. But you look at those clangers, boys. 23-21 at half time. It doesn't bode well for a great game of footy, does it?
God no. God no, it's a scrappy game. Someone's in the comment has just mentioned that it's sloppy footy, very very sloppy, and Baz, what do you tell your Chargers if you're the Adelaide coach, whoever that may be at this point in time in 2018? I forget. What's the message at halftime for the troops?
Just take a bit of time. They're rushing everything. Take a little bit of time, hit your targets, look for the open man.
And Foz, talk to me about Dom Tyson. Where's this game come from? I don't know if we can get the individual stats up or to see how many he's on Lek. But Foz, talk to me about Tyson and his dominance so far in this game on that wing.
Well, in the training simulations that we saw, we did see a wingman. The ball seemed to stick on just one particular wing. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the top wing, so the right. If you go on left, I guess it doesn't really matter. But the wingman seemed to. It really doesn't matter. But the wingman seemed to dominate in the simulations, and it's really carrying through here. So it might be something to look for in the next round, whether that's on Saturday or Sunday. I believe it's Sunday. Yeah. But if wingmen are dominating, go for them. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Viney with 11 touches in the middle as well, looking very dominant, while Rory Laird has 7 touches off the halfback flank and a couple of intercept marks as well. Looking very, very good. It was told early on he wasn't good for fantasy in this format. He's on fire tonight, doing very, very well.
I'm just going to pull up the player statistics, fellas, because I'm interested to see if the bench players have actually made it onto the ground. That might be a big impact on Jock Reynolds Evolution League football. So we're just going to scroll down and try and find Christian Slalom. Doesn't appear to have made it to the ground yet, neither does Melksham, so it feels bad if you have started them.
James Harms got onto the ground very, very late for Nathan Jones. We did see that change over. Jesse Hogan, not a lot of it either.
But we live and we learn, don't we, community? And that's why we're here to test this. We've had a few questions in the comments about why the quarters are so short. 3.5 minutes plus time on for about 5 minutes each for 20-minute games, so we can get a couple of games out a night. We tested it with longer games, and they really dragged on. When you're kicking 200 goals a game, it starts to drag on.
And
fellas?
You know that pinballing on the ground as well? If that plays on, good lord, you don't want to be watching that.
That's probably all the time we have at halftime. We're going to go back to the third quarter, see who can pull away in this game.
Foz, any predictions very quickly?
I think Adelaide's going to pull away in the third quarter and then hold the lead in the fourth.
Now, Jesse Hogan's gone into the ruck there, and he's come away with the first hit out of the quarter. Couldn't get that one.
Jacobs gets the second one. Rory Sloane onto it. Hasn't seen a lot of him tonight. Still going forward through the Crouch brothers.
Crouch.
Square.
Oh,
Is it a goal?
To Gibbs.
Oh.
Crouch finds Gibbs, and that's classic Gibbs.
First touch of the game.
It's a long goal from outside 50. That's the start Adelaide needed. Bang. Look at that man bun sail. I thought that was you out there for a second patch.
No, he's not wearing sleeves. Doesn't matter how hot it is, you always wear the sleeves.
And he dropped the ball onto the right foot.
Yeah. Look at that. Hey, I'll drop it on the right foot, just with the wrong hand. And the restart, Hogan and Jacobs go up. Jacobs gets the hit out. Crouch hits it, knocks it forward, knocks back into Melbourne hands. Turnover again, Sloane out wide. And we have a stoppage, a contest. Oh, big hand.
That's holding the ball umpire.
Ball!
And goal! Tom Lynch has curled one off the outside of the boot, and it's just gone through for his second of the night.
2 disposals and 2 goals for Tom Lynch.
That's efficient.
Baron, talk to me about that handball there, that long handball in. That's phenomenal. You don't get too much better than that.
No, look at this from Riley Knight there. It looks like it was over the head.
It's a true Bulldogs goal.
It's a banana.
It's a banana.
Banana.
Bang. And he's happy with it. Look at him.
Oh, yeah, the double fist pump. We love it.
Back to the centre. They've got to get Jesse Hogan out of the ruck. That's 2 ball ups, 2 centre bounces for 2 goals. They've got to get him out of there. And they've lost this one again. They've another clearance.
Back over.
Injury. Michael Hibbert has gone down injured. This is disaster.
In the centre. Ball umpire. Yep, David Mackay holding the ball. Hibbert has come off. Neil Bullen has come on. And Source Jacobs taking an intercept mark in the middle. Kicks wide to Rory Atkins on the wing. Kicking forward. We've got a contest. Bryce Gibbs again. He's going to line up for another shot on goal. Will he kick it?
And he's missed. You've got to convert those opportunities. Fellas, I just want to touch on the Michael Hibbert injury. If it's as serious as it looked, he looked pretty sore out there. Christian Slalem suddenly becomes an option for both this game and next time Melbourne play.
And we've just had a turnover straight for the kick out as well. Foz, that hurts you, doesn't it? 7-point play. How much does that hurt? Tom Lynch with his third goal.
Tom Lynch owners would be absolutely laughing because it's just what he needs. Because, kicking goals is worth so many points in this format.
And that's such a shocking turnover out of goal as well from Tom McDonald. Put him back forward, really.
Amonra in the chat says the AI really gave Adelaide a spray at halftime, and so that's why they've come out firing.
Look at that ball drop.
Well,
Look
you don't
at
need
that ball
to
drop.
come out firing when the opposition just kicks it down your throat like
Gorney's back in the ruck. I repeat, Gorney's back in the ruck. Wins the hit out straight away.
But Pedersen just turns it over. Silly turnover when you get the...
Oh, Gorn intercept mark over Jacobs, though. He goes wide, crosses the ground. And
There he is.
Takes a mark on the wing again. Goes back in board. Peterson with another possession. Had 6 at half time. Jeffy Garlett on 50.
Doesn't have the leg from here. Does not have the leg from here, and he's gone to pass it off.
Oh, Brady Smith with the intercept mark. Kicks it down at the line. And Roy Sloan takes a very good pack mark there and then chips it forward to David Mackay.
That might have been the first possession we've seen from Brady Smith just then.
I think it is. And Jacobs is playing very well at the moment. He's not dominated the hitouts, but he is around the ground. He's found Bryce Gibbs again, who's gone long. Can Walker come away with it?
Tom McDonald punching away again when he could have taken an uncontested mark.
Now, unfortunately, I don't...
Tex Walker handballs forward.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Lynch with 4. Lynch has kicked 4.
Lynch kicking a goal from the goal square is poetry in motion.
It's peak Jock evolution. And again, the chat goes up. Tex soft. I reckon that was a good hard ball get. Good handball out. Look at that. Good pick up over the shoulder. Handball straight into Lynch. Could have mounted the argument that it was a throw, but Baze, you must be happy with that.
Very happy to see that.
The Melbourne players just aren't staying goal side of their men, and they're punishing. Crows lead 5-3-33 to 1 goal 2-8. Harms is done for pushing the back. They just can't keep giving away these silly turnovers in the midfield, and Jacobs has turned up in this second half.
That's a risky move by the Crows taking Bryce Gibbs off. He was starting to look dangerous up forward.
Sam Jacobs having another set shot here too. Could add a goal. He's very impressive. Disposal tally will fall short. Tom McDonald,
you don't get points for punching. You have to take the mark.
Oh, he punches it to the hot spot and it nearly cost him again.
That's unbelievable.
Any chance of adding spoils to give Tom McDonald the ultra selection status?
But does it come up in the stats of AFL Evolution? That's the question. If it does, I'm more than happy to add it. But a spoil to a goal turnover, I guess, however you want to call it, is definitely -10.
And McDonald has just had another turnover, worst on ground by a country mile in this game, who as Viney picks up another touch, kicks it into Gawn. Gawn, it kicks long, that looks like Peterson, goes straight through him. Clayton Oliver. Oh,
great tackle, but no one there to clean up. And there he is. Bernie Vince.
In the middle.
Bernie Vince playing very well. John Lewis had acquired just a couple of touches, but hits up Jeff Garlett. Now, what can he do? This connecting kick is the one he needs to nail. And it's just punched out. Ball spills loose. Oliver can't take the clean possession. No one can. And the beaten by the siren, geez, you'd have to be disappointed if you're a Melbourne supporter, Foz.
You absolutely would. I said it at half time that Adelaide's going to pull away, and they did exactly what they needed to do to get a great buffer here of 26 points.
And the backup ruckman of Jesse Hogan, that's not worked for them the slightest, has it?
Not at all. If you notice at half time, there was, I believe, 8 hit-outs to 1, and now it's 9 hit-outs to 4, so Adelaide clearly winning the hit-out game in that quarter.
So 3/4 time, Adelaide Crows lead Melbourne 5 goals 4-34 to 1 goal 2-8. And rightly pointed out, well done, Foz, that the hit-outs were dominated that quarter by the Crows. But overall, Gorney's doing his piece, but he just can't get the support in the midfield that he needs.
No, we go to the individual stats. Tyson had a quiet quarter too compared to the other first couple.
Just the one disposal.
Jack Viney with just the 2 as well, which sort of speaks to Adelaide's dominance, and they're sharing it round too. Brad Crouch hasn't had a massive game contested wise. They're sharing it about, and a lot of their half forwards are getting involved. But Tom Lynch, Baron, talk to me about Tom Lynch and how crucial he is to this Crows lineup.
Well, 4 or 5 goals. That says it all. They call him the connector. He makes the Crows forward line work, whether that's kicking goals or setting up others. But he's taking care of business by himself tonight, it looks like.
And that's what owners want to see. We're just going to go to Salem Cam. We're going to see if Salem has yet registered a possession. Salem has not registered a possession yet. We will go back to this at full time. This could be a story brewing.
It could.
Christian Petracca also hasn't registered a possession there. I imagine a few might have gone with him as well.
I certainly did. Got sucked into Petrappa.
He's a trap in Supercoach, AFL Fantasy, and Jock Reynolds Evolution League footy. As we go back to the centre, gone with another hit out. Jaden Hunt ends up with it. Can he use it to an open Nathan Jones on the wing? He's normally good by foot, and he finds Jack Viney, the man who's dominating for Melbourne, but he turns it over to Kyle Hartigan. Patch.
Kicks it forward, and then Matt Crouch with a good contested mark. Kicks it inboard. Dangerous kick. Spills loose. Again. Handball. Very good handball.
That's holding the ball umpire.
Holding the ball every day of the week. And Gawn gets pinged for what could also have been holding the ball. Pinballs around, and we'll have a free kick against Matt Crouch for a hard tackle.
That's not good for his points. And that looks like Oliver finds Jeff Garlett. He's the only forward presenting this game, but he doesn't have the leg, and he's gone for the centering ball, and he's turned it over. Hardigan's intercept possessions this half have been immaculate.
Sloan took a one-hander there too, and now he's just pinballed it forward, and it's gone straight to Viney, who's turned it over again to Sloan. They're just playing kick-to-kick in the middle of the MCG.
And Rory Atkins, he hasn't been cited too much. He's had a couple of touches.
What is that kick? Gone, pushed out of it by Jacobs, and then he ends up with it again. But Adelaide back
and
with
2
it.
advantages, 3 throwing the balls in a row. Advantage Crows. We've had 4 advantages paid in a matter of seconds, and Oliver's come away with it. And he's looked for Petrarca, who's taken a hanger for his first kick of the game.
I'm on track.
Huge.
Oh, he's nailed it.
And the goal umpire hasn't moved. Talk to us about his game, Bazza.
Well, that's his game right there. You just saw it. Everything he did.
He does have 2 contested possessions to his name as well, according to that stat, so he must have got involved with the handball chain, where it's really hard to tell. But Foz, can you talk to me about how you designed this game simply to make Christian Petrarca a trap in yet another format of fantasy football?
Well, it was interesting because in the match simulation, we used the Melbourne v Hawthorn game, and he actually kicked 5 goals for a score of 144. So just like the Marsh series, he has sucked us in.
Why doesn't mine look like that? Tom McDonald in the ruck now. They're putting his spoiling to good use. Finally, Nathan Jones out of the middle kicks it back.
90-degree kick by Nathan Jones.
Talk me through that decision-making process from Nathan Jones. Kicks it backwards when streaming out of the middle.
Yeah, I think that's just, we'll say that's a missed kick. We'll just be nice to Nathan Jones there and say he didn't mean to kick it.
Jake Lever, who started off really well but went missing for quite a while there, he's just taken a good intercept possession, but I'm worried it's not enough for the $80 people have outlaid for him. And Matt Crouch, isn't he having a game?
Oh, straight to brother Brad.
Inside 50.
Called that before. Bryce Gibbs back on the field, lining up for a shot. Does he have the leg here, Babs?
Oh, definitely.
He's got it. He has it. Ooh,
the accuracy is the only question.
Yeah.
I think he's wasted a couple.
Yeah, that's 1 goal 2 now for Bryce Gibbs.
Foz, how do you get back into this game if you're Melbourne?
You get the ball in the hands.
Oh, not like that.
Oh.
And out of the hands of Tom McDonald.
That's Max Gawn taking a kick in from full back too.
Taylor Walker done for pushing him in the back. Finds Michael Hibbert, who's back on, which is great news for Melbourne supporters. Bernie Vince with another touch on the wing. Turns it over to Richard Douglas, who I don't think we've called his name yet today. And, well, probably a good thing, because that one's out on the full.
There's a reason the coach started Richie on the bench there, I think.
Now, Nathan Jones has just come off, and he is giving an almighty spray to his teammates.
and he should be given one himself for that kick earlier. Jake Lever takes yet another mark in the back half, but turns it over to Brad Crouch on the wing. Plays on, goes forward, and spilled out of the pack. And we've got Tom McDonald missing it. Adelaide boys pinging it round. Turns over to Melbourne. Free kick. Bernie Vince, no advantage. Oh, against to Bernie Vince. Which club does he play for in this game? I don't know. Jake Lever has the ball again. That's the only thing I do know.
And Matt Crouch goes out to the wing. They're looking to attack still, but Jaden Hunt takes the intercept back to Matt Crouch. And hopefully you're going to get a mark out of Tom McDonald here, but that might be the last stat we see of this game. Andy Otten takes a mark, and that's all she wrote, folks. Adelaide are very happy with this opening win to the Jock Reynolds Evolution League. Have a look at them celebrate. Fellas, who were some of the players that stood out to you in this one?
I think Dom Tyson's the obvious one that everyone's going to be attracted to after that game. Jack Viney had a really good game, and the two Crouch brothers for Adelaide dominated.
Now,
I'm very quickly going to jump in. The Potato Bake from the Draft Doctors has jumped into the chat. G'day, mate. Sorry we missed your stream, but love to see you here.
Great to see you, Potato Bake. Adelaide run away with game one by a 20.1 margin, 5 goals, 5-35 to 2 goals, 2-14. We're going to go to the player of the match, fellas, and then we'll look at some key statistics. Actually, we'll go to key statistics first, then we'll see who's awarded player of the match. So Jack Viney led all comers with 16 disposals. I don't think he was in a lot of teams.
No, I don't think he was. I think he was a very good pod for those that picked him up in the middle. Didn't come off, just sort of ran all day, was in everything. But yeah, Baz, as you predicted early on, the Crouch brothers with a lot of the footy, 12 and 11 apiece.
That's how they do it. They love each other. Brad and Nat passing it to each other.
Yeah, how many times do you reckon they passed it to each other? I reckon, 15 of those accumulative 23 touches were to the other one.
Oh, most likely. They pretend they're playing kick and catch in the backyard on the MCG with each other.
Now, Jake Lever at $80 is going to be... I think I just dropped him out of my team in the end there to get some extra cash. I think I'm going to regret that. We're going to go to player of the match, fellas, before we get things set up for Fremantle v Hawthorn. And that is a shock to me. That is a surprise.
Tom Lynch to not get in the votes.
He's kicked 4 goals.
4 of the 5 goals for the winning side. Doesn't get a mention.
This is amazing, guys. I didn't see...
What do you make of that?
I didn't see much of... I honestly don't think I saw that much of Rory Sloane in this game. Brad Crouch I expected to be in the votes. Lever maybe with the 1 vote. But to see Rory Sloane take that out, I've got to question the AI of AFL Evolution.
They just fell in love with the blonde locks a bit too much there, I think.
Now, fellas, community, for those asking, we can't get the scores up on stream. We will post-stream either tonight or tomorrow morning. Post all the scores, update your teams in the Google Sheet. It'll all be up to date. You'll have to stay tuned for that. We'll talk about the scores on the next stream. We're going to go into our next game, which is going to be Fremantle Dockers taking on the Hawthorn Hawks. Fellas, I'm just going to switch screens while I get things set up, but feel free to talk to the community, answer any questions, get some feedback from those beautiful human beings.
Very, very quickly, while Twitch chat sort of has a bit of a time. Foz, talk me through that. It was obviously the decision to put Hogan in the ruck at the start of the second half, which costed them the game there.
Yeah, it wasn't great manoeuvring from whoever the Melbourne coach is at this time in the life of this game, I guess. I guess they have no one else to put in there, really. They could have put Tom McDonald in there, but Maxi Gawn, you need to be playing him at 100% in the ruck. They just lose out otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom McDonald was obviously showing he had intent to have hit-outs. Every ball that came his way, hit out, straight to the hot spot. Often it turned into a goal. They finally did put him in there, but it was too little, too late. Baz, what was the key for the Crows?
It was the start of the third quarter there, like you said, when they took... Gone off, allowed the Crows to get the ball out of the middle easily, pump it forward, and Tom Lynch did the damage with 4 goals. I think 3 of them were in that third quarter.
Now, fellas, I just want to shout out Zampa88, who has highlighted a message in chat. Will the sheets be up again tomorrow? We will make the sheets, Zampa, live for the next game tomorrow. We're going to tweak how the sheet works. So when we unlock it, we'll post a link on jockreynolds.com.au, or you can follow any of us on Twitter, which you'll find the details on jockreynolds.com.au. We will open the sheets up again tomorrow for Sunday's games.
A few things coming in from Twitch. Placey has the captaincy on Sandy, which I really like. I think that's a very good pod. Benno enjoying the footage. And then footy player with B Crouch, Sloan Ranger, Gorn Dog. Obviously very, very happy with that, which is good to hear. And Benno nearly put Jenkins in the ruck, which would have been interesting.
Fellas, I've got a few shout-outs. Boone PY, shout-out for following. All these are shout-outs for following. Ricky John, Kana Saints, The Game SC, Teaspoon SC, Shods58, Middle Name Barry, Gone Again, DJ Floorboy, Cax, Shanos 72, and Rabbit Down Under. Thank you for following the stream. And make sure you do follow the stream, everyone, because you'll get constant updates of when we go live. And make sure to check all of our Twitters, jockreynolds.com.au, for the next game's details as I set things up for the next game.
MSC with Silk as captain, which, the thought that, you could have Silk in a format excites me so much. And I was very, very heavily considering him. And Foz, that's the beauty of this sort of format, isn't it? Is that you can, there's only sort of 1 or 2 games, you can have a fling with it with an older player and not have to worry about them lasting the whole season.
Yeah, I think with the format as well is that it's great trialing and finding out who the good players are, because everyone's going with a different strategy. Everyone's, either picking their favourite players or picking players that are good in a certain position. So it's really exciting to see how the teams are so widespread at the moment.
Now, fellas, I think we should go through these team lineups so we can get into the game. Foz Daddy, do you want to take us through Hawthorn's lineup this evening?
I would love to. I'm going to start with a back pocket just to throw things out of whack. We've got Grant Birchall, who's now a line down there with Blake Hardwick. James Frawley's taking the kickouts there. You've got Ryan Burton on the half-back flank with Caden Brand and James Intercept King Sicily on the other half-back flank there. In the centre, we have big boy Ben McAvoy tapping it down the throats of Tom Mitchell, Shawnee Silk Burgoyne, and Liam Shields with O'Meara and Smith on the wings. O'Meara on the wing is interesting, I thought. And then up forward, you've got Rioli, Tim O'Brien, and Paul Polopolo creating the half-forward flanks. And Jack Gunston, Jared Ruffhead, not Jordan, and Lukey Bruce in the full forward line with a couple of bench players like Ben Stratton, Taylor Durea, Will Langford, and Dan Howe. So it's a very interesting lineup for the Hawks. Pretty tall up forward, but we'll see how they go.
Now, I'm going to turn to you, Baron, to take us through the Fremantle lineup. Please and thank you.
Well, that Fremantle lineup in the midfield, doesn't that look good? Sanderlands in the ruck, Nat Fyfe, Lockie Neal, David Mundy, and on the we've got the Hill brothers. That's top of the line stuff there. Up forward, the Dockers have gone with a smaller forward line with just McCarthy and Kirsten as their tools, with Walters, Matera, Ballantyne, and Gray. Down back, not too exciting for the Dockers, and they might have trouble covering that height. Luke Ryan, Joel Hamling, Eaton Hughes, Lee Spur, Michael Johnson, and Connor Blakey. On the bench, we got Harley Bennell. We'll see if he actually gets on field for once. The boundary hugger, as my friend John likes to call Danielle Pearce, Darcy Tucker, and another Pearce there on the bench.
All right, folks.
Very, very quickly, one prediction each, half a sentence. Lek, what's your prediction for this game?
My prediction is a Sanderlands domination.
Foz.
Hawthorn by 20 goals.
And Baz.
Kirsten kicks 5 goals.
There we go. I'm going to say Harley Bennell does a calf in the warm-up, is a late withdrawal.
All right.
It can physically happen, but I reckon it will.
No late outs, Happy Lab. It's round 1, night 1, and no one's been pulled out. Geelong aren't playing, but rest assured, if they were, they absolutely would have had late outs. Good to see people in the comments giving their tips. Let's get this one underway. As you hear me have an error for trying to delete something.
Classic. Wouldn't
Here
be
we are at
Japan
Optus
without
Stadium.
some technical glitches. Optus Stadium, they could take us away for the first bounce.
What a beautiful stadium it is. And haven't they really done a great job of Optus Stadium over in the West? Damo couldn't be here tonight. He's at the game, front and centre. He's cheering on his side. And I'll tell you what, look at these lineups going into the game. I'm excited. Tom Mitchell, well, you expect he's going to have a big game, don't you?
Absolutely. Mark him down for 50. Obviously, don't tag him because his possessions just aren't damaging. But we'll have 50 in the space of 20 minutes of game time.
I'm unsure if the game knows if the game can implement tagging or not. So I'm excited to find out. It's good to see there's a lot of social distancing in the crowd. Everyone's pretty far away from each other. So that's good to see.
A lot of Hawthorn colours for a Fremantle game
Yes.
as well. A lot of Hawthorn.
A lot of Hawthorn. Mostly
sure
Hawthorn.
Not sure where that's come from, but hey, and here we go. We're going to watch. Here we go. He's managed to come straight across from the G, straight across to the West in a matter of minutes. And here we're seeing players handshaking, which of course is now illegal.
Is that Nat Fife wearing a headband?
That is, and no sleeve. And he's won the toss. He's elected to go to one of the ends of the ground.
He's elected to bat.
All right, here we are. Big ball up in the West. Sandilands and McAvoy. Who comes away with it? Sandilands with a big punch, but not to the advantage of his teammates. McAvoy with a little clearance out to Isaac Smith, who kicks it down the guts, and Nat Fife already taken a contested mark and a kick. Finds his teammate. Kirsten called for throwing the ball, though. Patch. No advantage paid. That was play on.
That was play on, and we get the kick out wide. Contested mark goes up. Cyril taking a pack mark. Who would have thought? But turns it over. Fife again. My captain with 2 intercept marks in 2 minutes. David Mundy on the wing. Kicks it forward to Walters.
Walters almost smothered off the mark. Goes forward to Shane Kirsten. Can he just chip this one over to Matera? Not to Matera. He splits the difference between Walters and Matera and finds Grant Birchall.
Birchall down the line, off hands to Mundy. Mundy kicks it forward, and Birchall again with an intercept mark. Foz Hawthorn's defence holding up reasonably well as Fife takes another contested intercept mark.
Bradley Hill on the wing.
See the Hawks hold down, yeah.
Foz, you wouldn't think that Birchall would have been in too many teams. Do you know the rough ownership percentage on him? That's holding the ball umpire. That's holding the ball umpire. That's holding the ball. Sorry.
3%. No, it's not. Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's been doing it all day.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see what the umpire calls if this one goes out, because it will be deliberate.
Nat Fife with another contested mark.
Marks already.
Now,
Gets another handball, the old one too, but turns it over for the first time tonight. As still takes another contested mark. Nearly smothered off the mark.
Fife. He's going to double ton.
He's taking the piss now in Nat Fife.
Now, Baz, you're a big Guns and Rookies man. $92 is a big chunk of change from your salary of $850. Nat Fife has already been worth it. How have you approached the Guns and Rookies setup?
Well, I did pick Nat Fife, I think, as my gun of my team. You can only really afford one.
He's on! He's on again.
This is unbelievable!
Michael Johnson, famous for scoring -4 in one Supercoach game in the past, kicks it forward. Fremantle pinballing it around. Mundy forward and spilled as Hawthorn try and clear it. That's ball again.
Community, the Fife is... the Fife chat is exploding. Fife tearing up for me. Fife is life. Fife is life. Fife. Somebody stop Fife. Fife again. Fife needs tagging. Where's Brett Bewley? This is amazing.
You know what's interesting though? Fife has just been brought off, so he is now on the bench. He's had 12 disposals in the quarter. And
they need him. He needs a rest.
He does have leather poisoning. That is an injury. So there is
that risk there.
They just need to cool his hands down because they're physically too hot to function. So it's just a precaution. He'll be back out there.
Can Mundy run through and kick the first goal of the game? And it's wide. This is a low-scoring game. I'll tell you what, we ran some testing Community throughout the week, and even on 3.5-minute quarters, teams were kicking scores. We have seen 2 very low-scoring games early. As Frawley plays on it, handballs to his direct opponent! Cam McCarthy snaps a goal, first goal of the game!
You wouldn't believe it!
You have to drag Frawley for that. Clarko, you have to drag Frawley. Look at that!
He's not playing next week.
And here we were thinking that Tom McDonald was the worst fullback of the night. It's taken a minute and a half for James Frawley to handball it to Cam McCarthy in the pocket, who snaps it over his shoulder very, very well, might I add. That's a no-look.
Oh, that's a
goal.
fantastic finish.
And boy, has he enjoyed it. Leck, take us away.
As the ball goes up in the middle, Sander lands with another punch. Durea pushed in the back on, I think that's Walters. It's hard to tell. Turnover to Langford. Hey, Baz, I just want to check in. Has Tom Mitchell had a stat yet?
I haven't seen him come up yet. No.
He's had a few intercept marks. I reckon he's on about 3 or 4 touches.
3 or 4. As
Daniel Pearce, who came on for Fife, gets a mark in the middle. Walters out wide, high half forward on the wing almost. Spilled by Mundy, who taps it forward. Mundy gets it back.
And there is the man. I think
there is the quarter.
Is Tom Mitchell number 3 in this game?
He is number 3.
Yes.
Is he still number 3 in real life?
He is still number 3 in real life.
Very good.
He is.
Who knows?
And that Fife addressing his team, he's happy with that effort. He's carried a lot of it himself, but he's happy with that first quarter.
He's saying to the lads, "Did you see me? Did you see me? Oh, I was on fire. What were you guys doing? I was getting the ball. I don't know what anyone else was doing."
Did you see that intercept mark? Oh, which one, you ask? Oh, which one of 7? Oof. God,
Where's
that was
McAvoy? McAvoy's gone missing. Only 2 hitouts for the game to Sanderlands. And Foz, these stats are screaming one thing: Fremantle domination. Effective disposals, uncontested, contested, you name it, they are winning it.
Yeah, Damo would definitely be happy being at the ground. They're well on top at the moment. The Hawks really need to respond.
They're dominating with the ball and without the ball. Double the tackles for the game, more marks, 2 more clangers, but you expect that when you're dominating the possession.
Yeah, it's been a really one-sided performance so far. Clarko would be absolutely filthy with his troops.
And look at that first quarter. Nat Fife with 9 disposals. We'd be happy with that in a half. That's unbelievable.
Oh, Nat Fife. Arousal curve is peaking, honestly. Foz, Cyril was the major ball winner for the Hawks. That's not one you would have picked early on.
I would have picked that one early on. He was dominant in a trial game that we played. But yeah, on a half-forward flank, you don't typically see high disposals. But he's an impact player, and we love impact players in these shorter formats of the game.
Baz, what did you make of Cyril's contested marking?
Very surprising, but very impressive as well.
Now, this says more about Hawthorn than it does... this says more about how badly Hawthorn are playing than anything else. James Frawley, equal second disposal leader, and we saw what he did with that disposal, and that was give Cam McCarthy a goal. Folks, we're going to go into the second quarter, but we can keep chatting because this is our show and we bloody get to do whatever we want.
Exactly. Fife already on 100, says Rusty B. I reckon you're right, mate.
And there's McAvoy with his first hit out of the game. No prize, says the umpire. We get another ball up in the centre. And McAvoy with another hit out. That's 2. He's evened the tally straight away. And there's Fife with a turnover. Now, McAvoy has shown up. He got called out in the chat at quarter time, and he showed up. 2 hit-outs and a potential goal assist here to Jared Ruffhead, who has hit... Did he hit the post? No, it's gone through. It's a goal.
Why is someone arguing with the umpire as a Hawthorn player about a goal? Baz, can you talk me through that?
No. He wasn't arguing. He was saying, "Geez, that's a good call. You've nailed that one. Oh God, you're an impressive man. I love you."
Titch has...
Shout out to whichever team it was which had Jared Ruffhead as captain as well. Very bold call. Hopefully it pays off and we see a Tom Lynch-esque resurgence with a couple of goals.
That's bloody... We do not have the replay centre in the Jock Reynolds Evolution League, but that one is... I'd like to take a look at it.
And he gives it to Hamlin as well as the ball is bounced. Sandlands and Big Boy go at it.
Big Boy, again, another hit out.
That might have been Ruffhead in the ruck, actually. As it pinballs around, and then again, still stuck on the ground.
No possessions.
Handball out for Freo. Fife again.
That's a Hill, I think. No, that's Hill receiving it.
Walters.
That's deliberate. Oh, you're kidding.
That is deliberate. No,
that was
not paid. Not paid. Pierce hugging the boundary. As we ball up on the wing, Sanderlands can't win that one. Well, he does win it, but it doesn't go anywhere. Bradley Hill holds things up, and we got another ruck contestant. McAvoy, that's 4 hit-outs for this quarter already. David Mundy called for throwing the ball. And Mundy's been dragged for that, and Harley Bennell, if you've selected him, has come on.
does a calf in a minute, I bet it. Lockie Neal with the ball. That's probably the first time we've called his name tonight as well. Kicks it forward. Matera with his first touch of the game. That's a good mark.
And he's gone a centering ball, and he's found Shane Kirsten, who probably has the distance from here, fellas.
Don't
Don't know if he's miskicked that. Oh! Cameron McCarthy! You beauty! That is what we play Jock Reynolds Evolution League football for, community.
Look at him. Look at this. Just watch him go up. No looker. Oh.
Is that on Frawley too? Frawley has the brown stuff running down his pants leg. He has had a shocking game.
That is going to be... And he finishes it. He just curls it. And he shanked it. He's shanked it. Is that gone to the near side?
Foz, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but there is something that gives extra points for hangers, but he's just lost them all by not converting it. Is that correct?
Yes, you get an extra 40 points for a screamer, but you don't get any of the points if you miskick the possession.
Yeah, and that's rightfully so. Should have nailed that. As Neil kicks it forward and Kirsten has the chance to have another shot at goal. Or will he set McCarthy up again? No, has the ping and looks like he's kicked it.
He's dobbed that one. Shane Kirsten seems to be a solid selection. He's had 6 disposals. Wowee.
Just kicked the 1 goal. Baz called it that he kicked 5. Hasn't quite got there yet, but they're still certainly getting his hands on the ball enough.
Shout out to Nevery for the follow in chat.
Been happy with his game there, Baz?
Yeah, he's getting plenty of the ball, surprisingly. I picked him to get 5 goals. I didn't think he would get more than 6 touches with that, so...
People are asking if this is Kirsten's best game ever. We did simulate some trials in the preseason for him, and he kicked a bag in a couple of them. He also went statless in a few, so it's a very solid game from him. And McAvoy with another hit out. No Pryor as Shields tackles Fife, and we're ball up in the centre again. Sanderlands with that one. Fife has it on a string. Goes wide. Can he find a teammate? Turns it over to Ryan Burton Patch.
Yeah, Burton kicks it forward, it goes up, and Lockie Neal takes an intercept mark, going through the hands of the Hawthorn player there, out wide to Walters, I think it is. Yep,
that is Walters.
Mark kicks it forward, it goes inside 50. McCarthy, can he do it again? He flies, spoil forward, and then ball up, handball wide. Walters again, good handball in, but tackled. Hawthorn take it away off the back flank.
It didn't come off there, but Brand Matera, great little handball to a teammate there, but it just didn't quite come off in the end. But he's playing very well this quarter, as Caden Brand, who is in my team, has just taken his probably first possession of the game.
Sandy with his first touch as well. Placey would be happy with the C on him. Foz, Lockie Neal's working his way into this.
Oh, Brandon Matera!
Matera does a Marlon Pickett, gets pinged for holding the ball. Foz, Neal's working his way in. Is that something that midfielders tend to do in this format? They sort of work their way in and they fade in and out of the game. Unlike, Fife's not had a lot of it this quarter as well.
Neil and Kirsten have just come off as well to end the quarter.
Big boy off as well. Sorry, Foz, do mids fade in and out?
They certainly do. It really depends on the makeup of the midfield.
What happened there?
McCarthy, once again, the key defenders punched it into play. I think it was Frawley, punched it into play.
He stood it again.
He nearly gets trapped in the pocket. Gets it to Burton in the end, who kicks it out onto the wing. Bradley Hill takes the intercept mark, plays on, runs forward to the pack in the centre, spoil out. Looks like a Hawthorn player is going to get onto it. Sprints.
That's holding the ball, umpire. He didn't get a hand on it.
Oh, geez, Freo robbed of a chance for a very late ping at it from outside 50 there from the umpires.
Rusty's...
We kept getting interrupted by the football there. Mids fading in and out. Neil looked like he had a good quarter. Fife was hardly seen. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it really comes down to the makeup of the midfield and who's on the bench and who's, maybe drifted forward. But it's definitely something you see where the midfield group will fade in and out and start to get a run on in certain patches. But obviously, Fife had a great first quarter, barely side in the second. Lockie Neal worked his way into the game, and that second quarter was pretty handy.
Yeah, and Baron, from a game standpoint, that was basically all Freo that quarter as well, despite a very strong start to Freo through Big Boy. Talk us through sort of the ebb and flow of that quarter.
Fremantle might actually be a bit disappointed with that first half. They've had 9 more inside 50s, but they've only got a 9-point lead to show for it.
Yeah, and they lead 2 goals 3-15 to 1 goal straight, and you'd expect, look at those stats, 58% possession, dominating on the outside and the inside, dominating inside 50s, and they don't have enough of a lead. Hawks have only gone inside 54 times for 1 goal. That's reasonably efficient. 25% on scoring shots.
No, but you'd want those numbers up. Also, interestingly, despite it being a Freo home game over in Optus Stadium, I made a note earlier that there were plenty of Hawthorn fans in the crowd. And with 4 free kicks to the Hawks, it looks like they're making a lot of noise as well. So Damo's obviously not got the megaphone or the vuvuzela up loud enough. They're up there in Perth.
Fellas, as we take a look at the leaders at halftime, Nat Fyfe added on 4 touches that quarter. 13 to a half is still very strong. We saw in the last game, a couple of the leading possession winners only had 12 themselves. And Neil came into the game there. He added quite a few to his tally. 8 at halftime. Mundy, don't think he added a disposal to his name, but Kirsten and McCarthy kicking the goals for Fremantle. And over on the other side, James Frawley leading Hawthorn with 6 disposals, 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers from 6 disposals. Burton is leading, coming second with 4 disposals in defence, and McAvoy doing his best to bring his side back into things. Jared Ruffhead, the only goal kicker.
It's a one-man show for the Hawks, really, with Big Boy. But we've had a comment. Somebody wants us to throw to Lingy for him to say something obvious and pointless. We don't have Lingy with us tonight, unfortunately. But Baz, I'm going to ask you to sort of bring your intelligence down about, to 20% of what it normally is. Can you say something obvious and pointless for us?
Clarkey has actually given us a pointless stat in the comments if someone wants to read that out.
Oh, here we go. Down here on the boundary, all the players, what's that word?
All the player models.
Models look horrific.
The interchange is literally a nightmare.
Thanks, Lingy, in the comments. There we go. We have our Lingy for this evening.
That's fantastic.
Quantum JC will be down on the boundary. Keep an eye out for him in Twitch chat.
We're going to start the second half, I think, fellas.
Go for
Fire
it.
away. Take us away. Let's
go.
Call that first bounce.
Start of the third quarter. Ball is up. Sandilands. McAvoy beats him. No one can take clean possession here, and no pride. Ben Stratton seems to be playing up a bit as we ball up again in the centre square. Sandilands wins that one, but no one can take clean possession. He's murdered McAvoy there, and somehow Suriol has just floated up for an open mark on the 50.
Didn't see Cyril in the second quarter, but kicks it wide, and Isaac Smith takes a good mark. Also been very much unsighted in this game. Kicks it forward to the leading, can't tell who that is leading, but
and
Luke Ryan.
Luke
First
Ryan.
possession for the game. Very popular selection at just 70k. Kicks it up to Fyfe, who looks to be kicking it up. That was barely 15, but Hill plays on, nearly gets tackled by the man of the mark. Harley Bennell somehow has not done a calf, but Brett Burton intercepts.
And Ryan Burton continues that good form. Finds Burgoyne, who's not had a lot of it. And there's Tom Mitchell, possibly his first stat of the game. Luke Ryan again. Now, in a lot of teams, at just $70, he is a very cheap option. You'd be happy with any points out of a man priced $70.
Fyfe to Neil, up to Hill, Walters again. All of Freo's big names combining here is, that's a risky kick from Walters. Doesn't pay off as Caden Brand takes the mark, plays on to the wing. Big pack there. Neil
for his 9th disposal.
Smallest man in the pack flies, takes it, kicks it back to Walters, who goes into Sandy, but Big Boy cuts it off.
Big Boy has taken the ruck duel since quarter time and dominated. And to be frank with you, I'm not happy with Sandiland's performance. I think he needs to pull his finger out. He needs to lead this team, or they're going to give away this lead.
Top of the square, or side of the square rather. Spoil from, I think it's...
Get there.
Jack Gunston off the ground. And doesn't he love it? Lets the goal umpire know on his run through. Foz, dissect that for us.
It was just a classic case of the fullback fisting the ball back into play and the forward line taking full advantage of it. That's the third time in these 2 games that we've seen. I don't know what Hamling was thinking of there, but has pulled an absolute Tom McDonald.
Frizzy Egg, we are unable to give you the stats, the points from the last game because we're literally all here doing the commentary, but we will endeavour to get those out as soon as possible, either at the end of the stream or on the website overnight.
Sandilands with a good kick for Ruckman. Bradley Hill up to Kirsten, who, as Baz mentioned earlier, is having a busy game. Kicks it forward. Walters might get it back here. He does. Has he got the leg from here?
I think he's got this one.
Accuracy. Yeah. No.
From the other side of the ground, he slots that one every day of the week.
Yeah, if it was the final quarter and they were behind by 4 points. Oh, Frawley plays on again.
What's he getting? Oh no! He's done it again!
Oh,
The ground by
McCarthy nearly scoots it off the ground. That's an impressive kick from that distance.
I don't know who's going to be lining up at fullback next week for Hawthorn, but I can tell you one thing. It will not be James Frawley.
I think James Frawley needs to be investigated for match fixing the way he's going right now. He is throwing this game away. He has a good 20, 30 grand on this. 3-0 win.
And their accuracy is... They are not punishing him as much as they should. Ballantyne can't kick that one. But James Frawley, why is he still on the ground?
Dragonfly.
He's played on again! He played on again and he's kicked it to the hot spot!
Plays on, then pulls the switch. Hawthorn somehow make it work. Somehow get out to the far side of the ground.
And shrugs the tackle there.
Maybe gets it forward. Fife gets the ball again. Back in.
Oh my
God. And Mitchell intercepts. I didn't take a spell. Foz, talk us through this. Blakely with the ball.
I hate this. This is just ridiculous. Harley Bennell finds a target out on the wing. Bradley Hill, former Hawk, sends it forward. Michael Walters is just playing a bit of kick to kick here. And
fumbles the mark, Brandon Matera. I'll tell you what, fellas, if there's one thing that this does confirm as Walters tries to centre the kick and finds Blake Hardwick, you can start on the bench and make an impact. Harley Bennell has shown us that. So if a player starts on the bench, it might not be the end of the world. Caden Brand with a clever little mark there as he looks to go up the ground but turns it over to Stephen Hill. Patch.
Hill goes out wide to Brady Gray. I don't know who that is. Is that a person? Does he exist? We don't know. Sean Burgoyne, Mr. Everywhere, Mr. Fantastic, takes the mark. And, that was a decent mark to end the third quarter there as we get a look at the Teen Wolf's luscious locks as he walks off the ground or walks over to the huddle, rather.
Now, I can't read lips, Patch, but it looks like Fife... He's not concerned, but he's not happy there. 2 goals, 6. They should be 5 goals up at this point.
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm sure one of Baz or Foz will be able to speak more to it. But yeah, in such a shortened game, you've got to nail your chances. You can't miss.
Quantum JC on the boundary. We've got a message coming through. Guys, just had a chat with Tim O'Brien at the boundary, who said he's going to sack tap Frawley into next week for his transgression. which is great insights from JC on the boundary.
I mean, if he sack taps him as hard as he's been whacking the ball back into the hot spot, then Frawley won't be speaking for a week.
Now, I just want to go through the stats here, Baz. Is there a stat that Fremantle isn't winning?
Hit-outs.
Free kicks.
There you go, yeah.
Clangers.
McAvoy took over on the hit-outs in that third quarter, but it didn't do much good for the Hawks.
This is disappointing from Sanderlands. Like I said during the game, we're going to go over to the leaders. You can take us through these, Baz, because have a look at that.
Fife is Life leading the game with 17. Lockie Neal trailing in second with 10. Bradley Hill with 9. All 3 major ball winners are eclipsing the Hawks with Frawley on 8, which has been 8 of the most disgusting possessions I've ever seen in my life.
I'm worried the system might award him a reasonable score, so we might have to visit that.
Yeah, Foz, can we override some of those stats from Frawley? Because surely
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve any points.
I don't have a clanger stat inserted just yet, but we're going to have to find one.
Yeah.
This cannot go on.
We've got to change the name. It's not the Clanger stat, it's the Frawley now. He's had 7 Frawleys in the game.
He's done a chipper. He's done a chipper.
Big boy with 7 touches as well. That's impressive from a ruckman. He's dominating, and if you went with him, you'd be very, very happy with that. Caden Brand as well, the key backs for the Hawks, getting it done as Gunston and Roughhead kick the goals. Remarkably, they're still in it.
It's only a 1-goal game, despite 8 scoring shots to 2. Fremantle just need to not lose focus here. I think we're going to go into the third quarter now, fellas, and we'll see how this one winds up. We've actually got an exciting game on our hands.
We do. Alas Yorick saying the Golden Frawley in shut as well, and that's excellent areas.
All right, as we bowl up...
8 possessions, 9 turnovers for Frawley as Sanderlands gets that tap, whacked forwards, and...
It went to Kirsten, who's They've called no prior opportunity. Good tackling from Kirsten. Frawley goes backwards with that one. It works out for the Hawks as Smith takes it on the wing, or more in the centre of the ground, to McAvoy, who, what can he do with it?
Big boy, wow.
Wow, Luke Ryan owners are very happy with that. That's at least his third intercept possession as he finds Brad Hill on the wing, and Nat Five brings up the 20. That's huge. To Lockie Neal for his 11th.
Another touch, kicks it forwards, and do we have a mark here? Burgoyne takes an intercept, steadier from the Hawks.
Caden Brand.
Kick, but Brand had a lot of the footy so far, goes up towards the wing. Safe option as Tom Mitchell takes a chest mark.
And turns it over to Nat Fife, who turns it over to Ben McAvoy, who probably turns it over to Connor Blakely.
Baz, is that some of the worst kicking you've seen? Oh, and another turnover here as Burgoyne gets it. What is happening out there?
I think they've all been copying their patch and just spraying their kicks left, right.
And Foz Daddy, do you feel like the pressure has mounted? Has the intensity lifted in this one?
Yeah, both teams are very concerned about making the final death blow move. I think this is a sort of game that Clarko loves to win. So just watch the Hawks come out in this last quarter and win this game.
And there's Sanderlands with a bit of space.
Gets a very good pick up and handball, kicked out wide to Walter.
Solid off the boot.
Played on
To Sanderlands.
And Sanderlands gets
Kirsten, that hurts him. That's his second high tackle for the game. Finds Bradley. Bradley Hill ends up with it, and can he hit a target on inside 50? And Kirsten! Whoa. What a contested mark. Well done to that man. He's going to centre it. He should have gone back, but Hayden Ballantyne makes it work. Now,
you got the leg from here?
Hasn't been accurate today, but this one, no doubts about it. Goal umpire says that's a goal, and what a piece of play. That might be enough for Fremantle. Baz, just take us through. Do you think Ballantyne, was he always going for the goal here, or was he looking for the goal square?
No, he was going for the goal on that one. I think that's right on his limit, probably 40 metres out. He had the tall McCartney on the line to take the mark if he didn't make it. So,
and Foz, as chat's pointing out, Luke Ryan has lit it up this quarter. What's been behind that resurgence?
I think just Hawks having a little bit more success going into the forward 50, and by success I don't mean converting, I mean just getting the ball in there. They're still using it very poorly, so Luke Ryan is just taking those nice intercept marks.
And we saw Sanderlands hit out and a disposal there. But Birchall called for throwing the ball, and it's come back to, I think that's Kirsten, who's found Matera on the half forward flank. I think that's what you call that. And Kirsten again. Mate, Kirsten is a superstar of the Jock Reynolds Evolution League, and he's just popped this one up in the goal square. Should have gone for it, but as is tradition, I don't know if it was Frawley, but the fullback has punched it back into play. And Hawks have got out of trouble there.
But they had two of them going up there. One of them was Frawley. The other one was trying to beat Frawley to the punch.
Why are you going backwards?
They're going backwards.
What are you doing?
Kicked it back into the defensive 50.
Walters just needs to take his time there, and this is the game for Fremantle. And Jurea cuts it off, but it's too little too late, I fear.
Yeah, kicks it out wide, gets a mark to Burton. Burton racking them up in junk time here. Kicks it out wide to the wing. Liam Shields haven't called his much.
Surioli, he has to go here. He's opted to switch, and Nat Fife's in the area. Nat Fife's marking the ball.
Fife is life.
To Mundy.
Fife is
to Kirsten, who has dominated. Long ball. He's looking for Brandon Materia. He must be best friends with Materia because he looks for him every time. Materia lining up, but he's just kind of popped that one high, and I think the siren's going to beat him. What's the umpire going to call there?
That didn't hit the ground. That went from Hogan's hands to... Not Hogan, sorry. That went from whoever the Fremantle player was. Went from his hands to his boot over the line. That should have been a goal, shouldn't it?
Well, it should have been, but unfortunately the AI doesn't have the capability to make those sort of decisions. Disappointing game from Hawthorn. Freo Dockers run out 3 goals, 6-24 to 2 goals straight. Now, if they'd kicked straight, guys, this would have been a demolition. It was, in the stats it is, but on the scoreboard, reasonably close. What are your standouts so far from this game, Patch? We'll go through highlights from everyone.
I mean, Fife is life surely is just the eternal takeaway here. And if you don't pick that Fife, are you fair dinkum? Are you even playing fantasy football of any form? Intercept king, possession king. Just, I mean, you only need to watch the first quarter of that game to know why you should never consider going without Nathaniel Fife in any format of any game ever.
I regret it. I took him out. Baz, what stuck out for you this game before we go into the leaders on the ground?
Just how disappointing the midfield for Hawthorn was. I don't know if I saw Mira get a touch in that game.
Played on the wing and just didn't seem to see much of it. And Foz Daddy, how about you? You got any keynotes from this one?
Well, Lukey Ryan at $70 really earned every dollar that you spend on him. That's a bargain basement price. Performed really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be one of the real standouts from this one. And as we look here, the stats, I mean, you called it, Patch. 21 disposals from Nat Fife. To give you an equivalent community, that's about 50 disposals in real AFL. And Kirsten and Neil, 13 and 12 apiece. If you had them, you would be very happy. Kirsten with 1 goal, Ballantyne and McCarthy with a goal. And as we look at Hawthorn, Caden Brand and Big Boy McAvoy ended up leading with 9 each, and James Frawley didn't add to his total in the fourth. I dare say he didn't get let back on the ground with 8.
We've heard from the boundary as well, Nick, if you want to cross down to Clarkey.
Yep, just crossing down to you, Clarkey. Clarkey here. Apparently the coaching staff say that Ross Lyon left before the start of the last quarter in a show of extreme confidence. So Fremantle weren't worried as Gunston and Roughhead are the goal leaders. We're going to go to the players of the match, boys, and I'll get you guys to talk through these player of the matches. Foz Daddy, what do you make of this?
No, Shane Kirsten's really interesting. I think he would probably slot in instead of Brad Hill, personally. But, I mean, Nat Fife and Lockie Neal both were very strong.
A couple of turnovers hurt Kirsten, I think.
Kirsten had a few frees against as well, but I still think from a standpoint, just a game standpoint, was a focal point centre-half forward, was really, really good. I'd have had him in there instead of Neil, but Bradley Hill played a really crucial linking game on the wing. As he's done sort of wherever he's played and wherever he will play. Just a very, very good footballer. Baz, there's no shock there with Nat Fife with the 3 votes?
Frawley
no
robbed.
shock at all. Yeah, I thought Frawley would have got best on ground for Fremantle in that game. He certainly set a lot up for him.
I'm going to pull up the stats, boys, just because I need to see a couple of numbers. I'd like to know how many points how many disposals Bradley Hill had. As we try and navigate this system. Bradley Hill with 11 disposals. He was pretty clean with it all day, and no surprises there. I think we'll bring up the statless players.
Luke Ryan with the 5 touches as well, and Harley Bennell getting a bit of the ball as well with 4 when that time he was on the field for Monday, which was very pleasing.
And statless is Tucker, Spur, Pearce and Handling. Not sure too many people would have selected them. We're going to go over to the other team and see who led disposals there and who didn't. Oh, this is an awful system. As we see McAvoy and Brand, as we spoke about. Mitchell ended up with 8, which is solid from a premium. You probably want a little bit more out of him as we scroll down the list. Not less statless players. Puopolo, O'Brien and Howe. If you started them, you'd be pretty upset. But everyone else at least got on the stat board, and having Jared Roughhead as captain, that's clearly going to hurt. As I go back to the chatting screen.
James Sicily as well, immensely popular selection, forward and back selection, relatively cheap, only had the 2 touches, and I didn't see an intercept mark.
That hurts. That hurts owners out there. I'm going to bring up this screen. Just as we summarise, community, we are unable to produce the stats for you live on stream without taking it 87 years. So we're going to post the stats after the game on the website, jockreynolds.com.au. Happy Lad wants to know if there's going to be scaling. We're not playing a allocation of points game. It's purely what you do on the ground that matters for this one.
If Fantasy Freako or Monty out there want to partner with us, we'd be more than happy to. We don't have any money. We aren't overly organised or coordinated, but...
Are you a salesman, Patch? Because I'm sold.
But yes, we're doing what we can with the system that we've got, and as you've seen, the stat system is painful.
Gorn again wants to know if we're not going to be doing scaling, can we at least scale Frawley down? We do reserve the right to scale players at will, based on whether we like them or not. Frawley, I don't think he'll need to be scaled down.
If they're wearing sleeves, there's an automatic 1.5 modifier to their score.
I suspect, fellas, and I don't know, we could talk about this. It might not be fair to the community for this game, but I reckon even with the 2 games that played tonight, we could potentially introduce we've got minus points for freeze against. I think we could potentially introduce a clanger minus, even with the games that have already played, because we saw some players had a lot of them.
Oh boy, did we.
We could talk about that. Foz, any shout-outs for you before we end this stream? And by the way, we're about to end on exactly an hour and a half, which is fantastic planning by us. We clearly planned that. Foz, how did you find it? And where can people talk to you? And where should people send any potential feedback or advice?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter. You can find me at MattForrest29, I believe my name is at the moment. You can also just search up through you boys. I tweet and you guys retweet me, so I'm sure you'll find me somewhere. I'm also on the Instagram for the Jock Reynolds page, so hit that up if you have any recommendations. Otherwise, you can just post to the Jock Reynolds site, and we'll read the comments. And if you have any feedback, that would be great, because we're all learning in this and we're all doing it together, which is great, which is why I love the community so much.
Alice says, now for roaming Baron. Baron, take us through the gates, the grounds, what are they called? Not gates or grounds. They're called the rooms. What are you seeing down there? What's the vibe in the Fremantle side, and how angry is Clarko in Hawthorn's team?
Well, Clarko has taken the boys straight into the back rooms. He's I can hear a lot of yelling and screaming. It sounds like a few chairs are being thrown around.
Has he smashed his guitar?
He has. He went straight up to Frawley and bonked him right on the head, a la Jeff Jarrett. He has sent him on his way. I don't know if we're going to see Frawley again in any of these simulations.
He'd be hard-pressed to keep his place, I'll tell you that much. And
honestly, I'd if I was James Frawley, I'd be calling the police over for an armed guard. And not that the police should give him one, but oh boy.
I'm just going to comment in the chat, reply to Benno. And how's the Fremantle rooms going?
Wonderful scenes here in the Fremantle rooms. Everyone's gone up to Nathan Fife. You're the man, Fifey. Thanks for carrying us through that one. Shane Kirsten, he's got the hands and the feet in the ice bath. What was it, 12 touches? That's more than he's had in entire season last year. He is worn out.
And boys, Baron, we can obviously follow you at Baron Von Crow on Twitter. Patch, your final thoughts from this evening before we cross back to what's the show that would follow us?
It would be after the bounce on the couch.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, after the bounce on the couch. Yeah, after the bounce on the couch near the tarp.
Yeah, the flapping tarp. That's been immense fun. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in and watched and stuck around. We'll keep going. We'll keep hopefully improving. Our commentary will improve. Hopefully, our ability to recognise players will improve. It's been a blast, and to everyone behind the scenes, Damo and Clarkey as well, have done some excellent work on top of you three to get this up and running, and incredible stuff.
All right, fellas, we're going to end things now, but it's been an absolute pleasure, community. Keep your eye on the website, jockreynolds.com.au. We will be opening a team list. We're going to do this on Sunday night. We will decide on how many games are played before then. But keep an eye on the website. We'll post some scores. We'll endeavour to get them done tonight. And thanks for bearing with us. We'll update the leaderboard, and hopefully you can all get involved for Sunday. We bloody love you, you beautiful humans.